Maria.
Hey, Lisa.
How are you?
Good, good. How's everything?
Everything is very good.
That's good. That's
Very
good.
good. This is exciting. So, it has come to our attention that we have never really introduced ourselves and who the diversity duo, where culture meets commerce, who are we? Why are we doing a podcast? What do we hope to hear and to say? So, thank you to Elijah for pointing that out.
Thank you, Elijah.
So, I guess, why don't we jump in?
Yes, please.
So, I'd love to talk a little bit about how we met each other.
So we met. I used to work until I retired at first Operational Services Division, and then I worked for the Supply Diversity Office after doing 3 years at A&F under the Office of Access and Opportunity. So the first person I saw coming down the hallway with a big smile was you. And I said, hello. And you said, I'm Lisa. And I said, I'm Maria. And you asked me where I was. And I told you SDO. And you told me that you were in procurement, OSD. And after that, every time we saw each other, we didn't have to say anything. We just smiled, hey, hey, and kept on going. And then you parted ways from OSD. And thanks to our mutual friend, Dimitri.
Yes. Hi, Dimitri.
Hey, Dimitri. We miss you. We will be doing an interview with you, too. He connected us, reconnected us. And ever since that day, we've been pretty much in each other's life again.
Yes. Yeah, and that was a great reintroduction. And let's give a shout out to making those my kids laugh at me at how much I match make. And I say, oh, but I love that part.
It's important.
It's all about who you know and who should know other people. And Dimitri called and he said, I don't know if you remember Maria, but, from SDO, her business is kind of upstream from yours. And we'll get into our businesses in a minute. But he reconnected us and that was it. That was it. I think we have always been, since we were reintroduced, maybe a once a week or once every 2 weeks was the most or least we've spoken since we were reintroduced.
That is correct. And, I've known to be a connector. And it's so important, especially in the kind of business that we are, to make those connections not only for ourselves, but for others. That's how you lift and help everybody else to become successful.
That's right. That's right. I think there's a few things about our relationship that I really like and admire. One is I like and admire you. I respect you.
Likewise.
I love the journey that you've taken from being a police officer to moving from Puerto Rico to kind of raising your children here in Massachusetts and now managing these couple of businesses that you have. Your commitment and passion for supplier diversity is where so much about you and I kind of meld, right? We're both just so passionate about ensuring that small minority women-owned businesses have equal stance, not a leg up, equal stance.
That's correct.
In driving their message and becoming active participants in the supply chain, regardless of the level of business they're doing business with. And your passion around helping people get certified and the number of organizations that you work with, I think, is amazing. I'd love, I guess we're going to turn this into a little bit of a mutual interview. I'd love to hear you talk a little bit about the organizations that you work with and what you do and how you do it and why you do it.
The why I do it is the passion that I have that, in a million years when I was a police officer, never, but ever, thought about hanging up my badge and my gun and my radio and go and work for government, in an agency that buys everything the states needs. And of that agency at the time, that was a branch, it was a program within the agency that helped the small business community by teaching them how to sell to the state and providing them with the tools and resources to do that. And I started developing that fire. The person that hired me for that position right off being a police officer was Monserrate Colon. And she was so good. She was a great mentor to me. And anyways, from there, she left and went to something bigger and better. And I developed this program, and working with OSD and SDO all the time was such a eye opener for me that even though I was still in the back of my mind, I wanted to do something in law enforcement, like going to work for EOPS. Something kept on pulling me back to supplier diversity. Yeah. And I finally gave up the fight, and I said, okay, I see the writing in the wall. This is what I'm supposed to do for the rest of my life. Yep. And the people that I have met, the small businesses that I have met, have been incredible. At some point, some of these businesses have become friends of mine. We are friends. And from there, once I retired, I decided that this is what I wanted to do. And that's where I get the passion. I do run two businesses, like you mentioned. One of them, I started it in 2017. And I have a love for antiques and any furniture made out of wood. So we, when I say we, my entire family, we decided that we were going to start this little shop fixing antiques and architectural pieces. The name of the company is The Refinishing Oracle. Mm-hmm. And we are so well known in the community. And
so The Refinishing Oracle is located where?
It's located in Acushnet. And our website is therefinishingoracle.com. Great. And you'll see plenty of projects that we have completed. We have worked with a bank. We have worked with one of the mansions in Rhode Island. We have worked with the White Elephant in Nantucket. We have worked with the Museum of Natural History in Marion. Wow. So, and we have a lot of repeat customers, very happy with the work we do. But, that's something I do on weekends and on holidays. And all my grandkids have worked in the business. My boys have worked in the business. My daughter-in-law have worked in the business. My sister and my brother. So it's a family affair. Yeah. Then after I retired, I also wanted to keep doing what I was doing. I knew there was a need for a better understanding what supplier diversity is and what certifications can do for a business. And since I'm bilingual, I figure, you know what? I know there's a lot of members of the Latino community that, for whatever reason, either they don't understand it, they know about it, mm-hmm. but they don't understand it. Right. So I decided that I was going to reach out to certain agencies that work with them. For example, in Worcester, I work with LABO, which stands for Latin America Business Organization. The CEO is Elizabeth Cruz. And somebody put a bug in her ear about me. She immediately called me. And we've been working together for 2 years. I have done 4 cohorts with about 15 businesses there. And I just got an email from one of the members of the cohort that she's about to become certified. And I mean, she's singing my praises, which is music to my ears. I know that I've done something right. Right. And she didn't know about the program. So what I do is making a difference because of how passionate I am about it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think that's wonderful. I really admire your work because it is upstream from mine, right? So Ellen Westgate is really about assisting big businesses and working with small businesses. But one of the things I'm envious at times about your business is that you get to work with the small businesses with whom you are preparing to kind of go out and flourish in working with all kinds of government and public and private sector, which is really exciting.
I forgot to mention another huge nonprofit that I work with is called Amplify Latinx. And they have invested so much time and effort in different parts of Massachusetts, for example, Boston. They bring this notion that, we're gonna reach out this segment of the population that doesn't know about certain programs. And pretty much everybody that works at Amplify Latinx is so passionate about it. So they believe in their mission. And I absolutely love that. They have this program where they bring in entrepreneurs and they teach them anywhere from basic accounting all the way. I'm the last coach they see for certifications. I work very close with Lidai Rengifo and Miriam, and between the three of us, we get this group of people up and running in the certification area. So yeah, and I have worked with the Chamber of Fitchburg, very involved in the small business community. And again, most of the clients that I become certified and they start getting their contracts, they become friends,
Right.
and I love that.
Yeah, I love that because then I get to be introduced from you, right?
Yes,
And we're
yes.
going to have a couple of people that you have certified that have been have had an opportunity, multiple opportunities, and have built really great organizations based on that certification, that very important certification. And I don't want us to lose sight of the fact that we're in the first few weeks of the new administration, that we have, we're at a time where the recipient of this anti-DEI language, or the illegality of DEI language, which is outrageous and amazing that there's these stances. I will try and be respectful that there are stances. However, I'm a supply chain person. Supply chain to me is what makes the entire world go around. If you look around at every single product you see, every item has been procured by somebody. It has been manufactured, it has been designed, it's been created, it has been touched by multiple hands. And it's my fear for us is that we're heading into a kind of Fortune 500 big business only perspective. Groupthink is a scary thing. It's a personal fear for me, is that we're in a society that only thinks in one particular direction, and that it is directed to us by big corporate America. Taking us off track there. Sorry about
No,
that.
but and I'm with you. I mean, this economy, the economy of the United States, from the very beginning, from the birth of this nation, was built on the back of small businesses.
That's right.
And it's scary times, and I hope that they keep in mind whatever new regulations they bring out, that small businesses, regardless of the diverse background,
Yep.
that they keep us in mind, because we do make the world go around.
That's right. That's right. And I think certification is important. And, I talk an awful lot in my business about what I perceive to be the three pillars of supplier diversity, which is discovery, retention, and development, right? And how you find and locate how you find suppliers. Let's put diverse aside for a moment. How you find suppliers is really important. It's important that you're looking through the lens of diversity, meaning geography, meaning who's running those organizations, what schools is this information coming from? Right? If we're thinking professional services, I would hope that the procurement professionals of the world are thinking long and hard about not locking in on any given school, right? We've seen that. We've seen businesses that are built on the backs of, Harvard, Yale, right? Generally Ivy League.
Right.
When I think about historical black schools, black colleges, when I think about kind of those when I think about community college, there's entire cultures and generations that are coming out with different thoughts and innovation and its own resiliency. But once again, I'm digressing into supply chain, and I don't mean to. But what excites me about, I'm going to bring it back to your business, what excites me is some of the organizations that you're bringing on to the diversity duo, of who we're going to be interviewing and speaking to, and some of the changes that they've brought with their businesses.
I am so looking forward to. We have a list already, because you and I have been working on that list, and I'm so excited to make the invitation to these companies, not only at a private level, but also public entities and non-for-profits. We're gonna be covering an array of topics, and I'm excited about that. M&A Supply Diversity Consultants, we work with so many collaborators, and we cover so many aspects of procurement. I have grant writers. I have a business that helps you put together a bid and works with you to put together this bid. I have people in HR. I mean, you name it, my company is well rounded. At the end of the day, that's what consultants do. Right. We are connectors. And I can tell you that doing this job, I have met so many wonderful people. For example, I met Paulette Pinheiro from Unstoppable Latinas. Hi, Paulette.
Paulette.
You'll be sitting on this hot chair. Then we have met, I have met Monica Duani from Breezy Seguros. She's so well-rounded when it comes to insurance for business, autos. She's bilingual. Actually, her company has, Portuguese speaking and Spanish speaking employees. So that helps a lot in the community that she serves. I also have, oh my God, there's so many people. I have English for Life, Leonora Fogarty Gonzalez. She has developed this program for business owners that English is not their first language. And she has developed this program to teach them how to learn business English for business.
Yep.
And she's amazing. Then Dulce Orozco, who is the owner of Immigrant Latina, and she talks about health, mental health for, business owners, mental health. She's always dropping little tidbits on LinkedIn about taking care of ourselves.
Yes.
So this is the group of people that are amazing. Organizations like ELLA, United Latinas, that are always on the forefront helping women business owners that happen to be, people of color. So I have surrounded myself with an incredible network of very driven and passionate women.
Yeah, no, I'm really excited about that. And I think, when we think about what is and why are we doing a podcast and what's the importance and what's the message from the diversity duo, when we originally started talking about it, we started saying that we were looking to have really 3 segments, if you will. And it was somebody from a public or large organization, someone from maybe a nonprofit, someone from a small business. And then we keep talking about having some cultural influence into who we're going to invite. And I'm looking forward to that, and we'll be building that out a little bit more too. But it's important that we have those large organizations that we're talking about. What are these changes with the administration? How are they thinking about supply chain, right? Because we're a procurement first initiative around supplier diversity, right? That's from LN Westgate. That's my direction, is how do we drive better business, ensuring that we're mitigating risk, we're increasing resilience, we're adding innovation, and we do that through the lens of supplier diversity. And so bringing in some of those larger organizations, how are they thinking about it? How are they changing their or adapting to some of the new regulations?
Right.
When some of these wonderful people from your network, right? Both of us have also played a role on the in Massachusetts. We have these commissions. Maria's now a retired commissioner, but I'm still a commissioner with the Plymouth County Commission on the Status of Women. Wonderful organizations, right, for bringing the thoughts and ideas and the issues of women and girls to the table to be part of our discussion and drive legislation in Massachusetts to the benefits of them. So we're building out, and hopefully my goal is that we're bringing really good conversation.
I'm with you. Between the two of us, we can fill, in no time, a roster of people that are hopefully willing to sit on the hot chair and answer questions that would enlighten the audience. And perhaps if, they had any doubts about starting a business or any doubts about where resources out there, those doubts will be put to rest. And
that's right.
That's one of the reasons why we're doing this as well.
Very exciting.
It is. So, Lisa, tell me a little bit about you and your company and your accomplishments.
Well, thank you. Sure. So Ellen Westgate is a procurement, supplier diversity, and ESG reporting consulting firm. So I started this up a couple of years ago. I've been in procurement for 30 years. That's where we met many years ago. I first heard about supplier diversity in 2004. It literally blew my mind when I heard it. It blew my mind and it blew my heart also, because I think it was the first time that I understood how supply chain has an opportunity, not only has an opportunity, has an obligation that it directly drives economic development or improvement, or the reverse, right? Or it can isolate specific locations, geography. Geography is kind of the easy one to point to, right? Where if an organization stifles a particular geography, you can literally shut down the economy in some of these locations, depending on the size of your organization. So that became abundantly clear to me with one RFP. At the time, I was with an organization that was having some difficulty. We were through mergers and acquisitions acquiring new organizations. We didn't have a set supplier roster, right? So our master vendor list was nowhere to be found. And the idea, now again, this is 2004, right? So a lot has changed with technology. But the idea that the expectations were not, from the procurement perspective, to not just understand who we're doing business with, but who they are, what they are, and how they are. And when I think about the 20 years that's happened, and the thoughts in supply chain, that we've gone from understanding whether your suppliers are minority or women owned, sure, one basic thing. Now we move into, are your suppliers connected with any labor laws, right? Are they utilizing children for the production? Are they, now let's move into sustainability, right? The idea and the connection between supply chain, the economy, and the world, we have to stop pretending it's not all connected. Some of the things, again, I don't mean to make this political, but some of the things that are coming out are creating these lines where the lines aren't based in fact from the professional perspective. The professional perspective is an evaluation criteria is established by procurement teams utilizing stakeholders' influence, right? How do you want it? Why do you want it? What's the specifics and the descriptions around the products and services you need, established by stakeholders, handed off to procurement. Somewhere along the lines, we have fallen into this false narrative about it's the decision based on a certification versus, and how procurement people are not standing up in arms and saying, please allow us to do our jobs. We're a little bit smarter than that, right? It requires a true assessment. It requires data to support how and why particular suppliers are selected, as well as the evaluation of the goods and services on a continual process. So I feel like to me, again, part of our goal here is, how do we drive reality of this industry as it relates to procurement? How do we assist in driving the value add of certifications and why they are so imperative to the supply chain, why they're so imperative to the economy? I feel like I'm getting a little too passionate about kind of you and I sitting here, but man, we need to start really talking about it. And Elijah, your grandson and our producer, had the wherewithal last time we were all in the room together. He called us disruptors because I forget what we had said, but it was kind of on the side of being funny, we said something, and I said, "Oh, you're disruptors," and that's held true. Like that, the intention is that we have to be disruptors. We have to. So I want to bring people that we're going to have an audience who is going to be interested in hearing the people that we can bring to the table, whether it's economists, whether it's business owners, big, small businesses, large businesses that are going to drive the message, that are based in fact. And by the way, we really do want to have fun doing it, but I feel amped, and I feel like there's been a challenge. The gauntlet's been thrown a little bit at us this past week or so, and I think we need to rise to the occasion.
You know, I actually love the term disruptor because, you know, you and I, we come with different cultures. We have different sets of beliefs.
Yep.
We're also different generations.
Yep.
I'm a baby boomer at the end of the baby boomer. She's generation Gen X.
Gen X.
And the times that we have disagreed in a point that either I have brought up or you have brought up, we have done what adults do. Adults that respect each other. We had a communication. Well, why do you feel that way? And you know what? At the end of the day, I can see your point of view just like you can see my point of view. Right. So I love that we are disruptors.
That's right.
And we're hoping to bring other disruptors to, you know, whether we believe in what they're saying, that's what's going to make this conversation interesting.
Yeah, I think what's really interesting is there's a point, and we're going to get to this in a couple of episodes, where my mind has been completely changed on a topic, and I want to talk about that, and I want to talk about how you have assisted me in evolving into seeing something through a different lens. I'm still desperately searching for somebody who believes wholeheartedly in and can articulate why. And that's the people I want to have on here. I want to have people on here who believe what they believe through clear understanding and clarity on how to articulate it. Because to me, the purpose of a conversation isn't for me to be a show off and tell you what I know.
Right.
It's for me to share information with you that you're going to walk away either knowing something that you didn't know, or having your mind maybe changed, or maybe reinforcing for you exactly what and why you stand where you stand. That's okay.
Look, the difference of opinions is, again, I love to say, is what makes the world go around.
That's right.
And you can go at it one of two ways. You either have a adult conversation, or you have a fight.
Right.
Yeah, let's get violent, because I will hear you and you will hear me, and that will solve absolutely nothing.
That's right. So, Maria, one of the things I hope happens from this conversation, and this is a different format, and we just kind of sat down and did this today, and haven't really, I don't know that today we're clear on what this is even going to be, or how we're going to promote this, or display this. But, a couple of things. We have a website, thediversityduo.com. We're still new in this. I don't know what we're going to use that for, right? We're going to certainly post some behind the scenes and some information about us. And but the other thing that is on there, which we should tell listeners, is if you're interested in
being a guest,
if you're interested in being a guest on the Diversity Duo, there's a form to fill out. We would love for you to come on and sit and have a conversation with us. Again, I think we are two people who the requirement is not that you agree with us. It's just be respectful, come on and have a good conversation. I'd love if you didn't agree with us. That's always fun too.
Always. We would like to see people not only from, Massachusetts and the New England states. We want to see people from all over the United States, because this message is true here in Massachusetts, as it's true all the way in Texas, in California, Washington, Puerto Rico, Alaska, Hawaii. So please, if you're interested, you're listening to this podcast, fill out that form. We'll be more than happy to accommodate you and have you come in as a guest.
And that's right. I'm sorry. I was just going to go into something. I'm so sorry. My brain just stopped
Brain
working.
fart.
That's wonderful. So to go back to the website, so we do have a website, and we hope that you check it out. I'd love to throw your website out for your business. Mine is lnwestgate.com. Feel free to take a look at it. But I was hoping for you and we could talk a little bit about how did this idea come up, and what does it mean to you, and what does it mean to me, and what are we thinking?
I remember distinctively. It was like a month and a half ago. Lisa calls me. She goes, I have an idea. Texted me first. I have an idea. And I immediately called her, and we get on Zoom. And she goes, what about starting a podcast? And I look at her and I said, yes, let's do it. I didn't know what the podcast was going to be about. I didn't care what the podcast was being about at that time until she explained it to me. I feel an energy when I'm around Lisa, and we have pretty much the same personality. We're always joking and laughing. Obviously, we take business very seriously, but we cannot be serious, not even for 10 minutes. So she explained to me, well, we want to give a platform for businesses, large and small, to come and talk to us, not only from, our area, which is the New England area, but across the United States. So I decided right there and then that, yes, I was going to jump into that sea with her. I didn't know where the waves were going to take us, but I like what we've been doing so far, the list of guests we have developed. And to me, it was very important to give a platform for businesses that otherwise you don't hear about. And I fell in love with the idea of the podcast. And then we started looking for different names, and we came up with the Diversity Duo.
Yeah, no, I think it's been great. And a couple of the goals that we have for the Diversity Duo are certainly when we originally started talking, we talked about having 3 segments in one show. Not going to happen, right? It was, let's get somebody in from a large organization. We'll get somebody from a small organization. We'll get a cultural, an artist or a writer or something that kind of wrap and tie together culture. Here's the problem. Maria and I talk a lot, and we have fun, and we have really interesting guests, and we're interested in hearing people. So, we'll talk about how to become a guest on the show. But, our goal when we have guests tell us a little bit about who are you, what makes you tick, what industry are you in, what are you thinking about as it relates to procurement, supplier diversity, ESG, all of those. And the new federal changes have begun. How is that going to influence each of our guests and their businesses going forward?
Absolutely.
How is that going to influence our decisions and how we run our businesses?
Absolutely.
These are big questions for the day. But I think from a kind of a high level, right? One of the things that hopefully, if you watch us a couple of times, you'll see that Maria and I like each other, and that we have fun, and hopefully we're bringing that to the table. I feel like we started out a little, how do we do this? Maybe a tad uptight, right? But I think as we're easing into this a little bit more, there's a little more comfort that's coming to it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. No, from the first podcast to now, this is going to be, we record them ahead of time. So we always have a library there ready to go. We have evolved, and the producer can testify that we have evolved and we're on the right path. Thank God. Thank God that we have him to keep us real, and he does a good job. But I believe we're going down the right path.
Yeah.
And I know that I'm going to use disruptor again. I don't want people to think that it has a negative connotation, because it doesn't. Disruptors can change the flow of something that is not working if it's done right. And I believe with the amount of guests we're going to have sitting here talking to us, we're going down the right path.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. And I want to be a disruptor in how people are thinking. Right? That's it. It's not. I'm not trying to disrupt anybody's life or anybody's business. That's not my plan. It's not my intention. My intention is: are you open to listening to this from other perspectives? And the goal is: do we have the people in the seats that are bringing different perspectives? Because if we have similar people, and you and I differ on a lot of different things, some have been shocking where we aren't aligned, and that's always fun to me. I love that. I don't want to run from any conversation. I want to use all the words.
Same here.
I want to be adult about the words.
Yes.
But I want to make sure that we use them and that we hold each other accountable to what we say, and that we can have these personal aha moments. And I'm excited. We do have a podcast coming in a few weeks, where you completely changed my mind. And we had a previous guest on. My mind has been changed. I recognize that. I can't wait to talk about where my perspective was in how, and the bias that I created. All right, because I am comfortable enough that we all come to the table with biases.
Absolutely.
How do you own them? And
that's right.
And I can't wait to dive into that, because again, safe space, because we like and respect.
Absolutely.
Like and respect. Kindness, grace.
I like that. So I hope that our audience know us a little bit better. What we stand for, what we believe, what we will fight for, and what we will support you on. And I want to leave you, I love this quote, and I repeat it at the end of every session. And my grandson asked me how come I haven't memorized it. I don't know. But let's continue to amplify diverse voices and foster meaningful dialogues. This is what this podcast is all about. Until then, thank you for listening. And until then, this is Maria.
And I'm Lisa, and we're the diversity duo where culture meets commerce. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.